Mazda just unveiled a completely redesigned CX-5 for 2026, and it's bringing major changes that address the biggest complaints buyers have had for years. But if you think that's all, check this out. At the same time, they're also taking away features that made this crossover special and sticking with outdated technology that rivals abandoned years ago. So, what's really going on with the 2026 Mazda CX-5? Let's kick things off with the positives. The upgrades that are going to make this crossover a serious contender once it hits showrooms. Number 5. More tech features. Few things are more frustrating than fighting with outdated technology in a brand new vehicle. You're trying to navigate somewhere quickly, but the screen is tiny, the menu is buried 3 layers deep, and you can't just reach over and tap what you need. That's why the tech overhaul matters. Mazda is finally catching up, headlined by the largest touchscreen they've ever installed, a massive 15.6-inch display. The real game changer is what's powering it. Google built-in software means you're getting Google Maps that actually updates traffic in real time, Google Assistant for voice commands that actually work, and access to the Google Play Store right out of the box. And here's the relief everyone's been waiting for. That annoying rotary controller? Gone. The system is now fully touch-operated, meaning you can finally just tap what you need. The 2026 model also features a fully digital instrument cluster, expected to be standard on all trims. Now, all that tech is great, but it's pointless if you don't have room to enjoy it, which brings us to one of the biggest complaints Mazda is finally addressing. Number 4. More spacious than before. You've got adult passengers in the back seat, and within 5 minutes, you're hearing complaints about cramped legroom. Or you're loading groceries and you're playing Tetris trying to make everything fit. Mazda heard those complaints. The wheelbase stretched by 3 inches, overall length increased by 4.5 inches. Mazda claims the 2026 CX-5 will have class-leading knee and legroom in the second row, which means your passengers can actually sit comfortably on longer trips. The cargo area is now 2 inches longer and 1 inch taller. That's the difference between fitting 4 full-size suitcases or leaving one behind. The liftover height has been lowered, which means no more straining your back trying to hoist heavy bags. The rear door openings have also been enlarged, which is a godsend for parents dealing with car seats. So the space is finally competitive, but if you think that's impressive, wait until you see what Mazda's done with the exterior. Number 3. New look. How you feel when you walk up to your vehicle matters. Does it look dated and forgettable, or does it catch your eye? That's why Mazda's bold new aesthetic matters. The design takes inspiration from the larger CX-70 and CX-90, giving this compact crossover an upscale appearance that looks like it costs $10,000 more than it actually does. The front features slimmer LED headlights in dark housings that give the CX-5 a sharper, more premium look. Around back, slimmer, darker tail lights echo the styling of Mazda's bigger SUVs, along with dual exhaust outlets, details that make people turn and take a second look. One interesting change? Mazda replaced the circular logo with Mazda lettering stretched across the tailgate, giving it a more modern presence. And that sharp look is nice, but the real excitement comes from what's coming to the lineup soon. Number 2. Hybrid is coming. For the first time ever, the CX-5 is getting a hybrid, though there's a catch. It won't be available at launch. Instead, it's slated to arrive next year. But here's what makes this compelling. This isn't just any hybrid. Unlike the CX-50, which borrows Toyota's system, the CX-5's hybrid is being developed entirely in-house by Mazda. That means they're engineering it specifically to match the CX-5's sporty character. Mazda hasn't revealed power figures yet, but considering the brand's push toward electrification, expect a meaningful boost in both performance and MPG ratings, potentially cutting your fuel cost by a third or more, saving you hundreds of dollars every year. But all the efficiency and tech means nothing if the vehicle isn't enjoyable to drive, and that's where the CX-5 has always separated itself. Number 1. Class-leading ride quality. Most compact SUVs feel disconnected and numb. They bounce over bumps, lean through corners like a boat, and make highway trips feel like a chore. You tolerate them. You don't enjoy them. That's never been the CX-5's problem. Mazda has consistently delivered a crossover that feels more like a sports sedan, the kind that makes you take the long way home just because it's more fun. The secret? Balance. Mazda engineers paired a compliant suspension with precise handling, creating a ride that soaks up potholes without feeling floaty. Body roll is minimal through tighter corners, while the steering offers feedback and precision that's rare in this segment. Highway cruising is smooth and refined. Most compact SUVs feel like appliances. The CX-5 feels like something you'd actually choose to drive, not just tolerate. If you care about how your crossover drives, the CX-5 remains in a league of its own. Now let's address the drawbacks, and some of these decisions are genuinely puzzling. Number 3. Turbo 4 no longer available. You're merging onto the highway. You need to get up to speed quickly and you mash the throttle expecting a surge of power. But instead, you get leisurely acceleration that leaves you wishing for more. That's going to be the reality for anyone expecting performance. The previous CX-5 offered an optional 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, making it genuinely quick. But for 2026, that engine is gone. At launch, the only powertrain available is the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter with 187 horsepower. It's paired with a 6-speed automatic and standard all-wheel drive. But here's the problem. This engine has been in Mazda's lineup for nearly 15 years, and while reliable, it's starting to feel gutless when you need real power. Mazda's justification? Around 90% of buyers chose the base engine anyway, but that doesn't change the fact that enthusiasts are losing out. The Turbo 4 was the option that made highway merging stress-free and driving genuinely engaging. Without it, the CX-5 loses some of its sporty edge. So the powertrain is disappointing, but there's another area where Mazda took a step backward, and this affects everyone. Number 2. Interior, not as elegant as the previous one. Every time you slide into your vehicle, you either feel satisfied with your purchase or slightly disappointed. Maybe the materials feel cheap, maybe the layout looks generic. That's why the 2026 CX-5's interior changes are concerning. The outgoing CX-5 earned widespread praise for its cabin, which punched well above its price point. It felt upscale, refined, thoughtfully executed, the kind that made you forget you were driving a mainstream crossover. The 2026 model seems to be taking a step back. Yes, the tech improved dramatically with that massive touchscreen, but the overall aesthetic feels less special. Where the previous generation featured a minimalist, elegant layout with carefully chosen materials, the new cabin looks more generic, more in line with the segment rather than above it. Reports suggest the 2026 model relies more heavily on hard plastics and cost-cutting measures, particularly in lower trims. Your hand rests on a cheaper-feeling door panel, your eyes catch more low-rent plastic, and suddenly the vehicle feels less special than its predecessor. And there's one more decision that highlights how Mazda's playing it safe instead of pushing forward. Number 1. 6-speed automatic still there. You're cruising at 70 miles per hour and you feel like your engine is working just a bit too hard. The tachometer sits higher than it should, you're burning more fuel than necessary, and you know that with 1 or 2 more gears, the engine could relax into a more efficient sweet spot. That's the reality you'll face. In 2026, with rivals rolling out 8-speed, 9-speed, and even 10-speed automatics, the CX-5 is sticking with a 6-speed transmission that debuted over a decade ago. This gearbox is reliable and smooth. Mazda has refined it over the years, but in terms of technology and efficiency, it's falling behind, and that affects your wallet. Modern automatics with more gears offer better fuel economy because they keep the engine in its optimal rev range more often, saving you real money at the pump. The frustrating part? Mazda uses an 8-speed automatic in its larger SUVs like the CX-70 and CX-90, so they have access to better technology. The decision to stick with the 6-speed feels like a cost-cutting move, one that prioritizes reliability over innovation. So there you have it. The 2026 Mazda CX-5 finally addresses long-standing complaints about space and technology, while maintaining that class-leading driving experience. The expanded dimensions mean passengers won't feel squeezed. The massive touchscreen eliminates tech frustration, and that sharp styling gives it a premium appearance. But Mazda's conservative approach is also holding it back. Dropping the turbocharged engine eliminates the performance option, the interior quality took a step down, and that aging 6-speed is costing you fuel economy. Add that the hybrid won't arrive until next year, and you've got a crossover that's better in some ways, but frustratingly stuck in the past in others. But don't think that the 2026 CX-5 is the only new model that, besides improvements, also brings a bit of disappointment. If you're excited about the new generation of the RAV4, make sure to check out our video about its strengths and weaknesses. Yes, it's more refined, better looking, and more efficient, but Toyota also made a couple of decisions that could impact customer satisfaction in a bad way.